welcome to Momersations and Momosas. I am Keyera Ahnya, founder of SpoiledMilf.com. I am a mother of 5, ages 6, 5, 4, and 1.
I'm Heather Robinson, a mother of 2, 9 and a half, and 3.
Hi guys, I'm Marie Chanel. I'm a mother of a newborn. He's now 4 months.
Hi, I'm Zakiyah Hill. I have a 7-year-old princess, Zanaya.
Hi, I'm Tia. I have 3 children, Kai, Koi, and Pixie.
Alright, so this segment is going to be about difficult conversations. So all of the difficult things that mothers go through that a lot of people don't really want to talk about. So our first topic is financial stability. So of course, we all had lives before we were moms.
Right.
So now after we're moms, balancing your finances can be different. So a lot of people were asking me from the beginning, like, how do I balance going from a mother of 1 to now a whole family of 7? Like, what does that look like for me? And I think that in the beginning, it was pretty much the same because none of those other kids were in my household.
Yeah.
But now that everyone's in my household, I want to make sure that, again, I'm giving Tyree the same things that he is used to, and also that my other babies are getting the same thing. Because there is also 2 parents in a household, it kind of makes it a little bit easier as well.
Well, before being a mom, I was broke. After being a mom, I'm broke. It just broke all the way around. Like, I don't know. It just broke. I don't know. Thank God for my baby father, because listen, he'll be all over the place, literally.
For me, honestly, before I had my child, I was all about me. Everything.
Yes.
Every week I had a new hairstyle.
Yes.
Now, it's not the same anymore. Now I feel like I don't know how anybody survives.
Wow.
And I'm just all, person.
Blooper.
And you have 2 jobs, so
Yeah. So I'm still struggling.
2 jobs and a kid. I've always had 2 jobs, and I feel like I can't go back to 1 job full time with a kid.
It is literally the hardest thing in my life. I literally just left work to get here, and I'm exhausted. I feel like my eyes are about to close, and I feel bad because I feel like I'm spending no time with my daughter.
Yes.
But I'm like, you're expensive. I need the money. I'm sorry. We'll have my daughter day tomorrow.
Kids are very expensive. I don't know. I have like 2 jobs, maybe 3 in the business. So I just try to do everything during the week so that I have that weekend time with my kids. And then they all play sports and do stuff. So like, I don't know. I have to work all these jobs to maintain their stability from now until forever. So it's hard. I want to be asleep.
Right.
But we gotta get it done because I can't be the mom and you cute and your kids look crazy. Like that does not fly well with me at all. Like I can't buy one something and not the other. Like if we're going to the sneaker store, all of the kids are getting sneaks today.
Yeah.
You know, it's not next week for you, and you'll get a haircut now and you'll get one later. Like
Well, now that it's 5 kids for you instead of 1, do everybody get sneakers the same day, haircuts the same day?
So again, it's different now because the last time we taped, all of my stepchildren weren't staying with me, but now 2 of them are. So today we went to the haircuts. I actually got his first haircut today. But that's always been a thing. Like the boys always got their hair cut together. But as far as like clothes and stuff, again, they're just moving in. So of course, in the beginning, I would go do TJ's and Zaire's entire wardrobe for whatever season it is. And now that it's springtime and I'm getting ready to shop for summertime, I'm going shopping today. Actually, I'm doing all of the kids. So I mean, yeah. And again, it's an adjustment. But you know, gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Mine is a little different because I do live with my children. Well, their father. So my situation is different. So when it was just me and my son, it was difficult. Same thing, since I was the single mom taking care of my son. But now that I have him, for me, it's different. So with him, he always does everything. but that kind of pushed me because I don't want it to be just him taking care of us. I want it to be a partnership.
Right.
So that kind of pushed me. So I do have 2 jobs, and it's not because we're struggling, but because I want to have money to do different things instead of paying my bills and saying, "Oh, can I have some money?" I want to say, "Okay, I got my own money. We got this." I don't want it to always be him.
Right.
So he pushed me, and then having my 2 kids and wanting them to do whatever they want to do, sports, dance, whatever, and being able to do that. So,
like, how does like, how do they feel about you, like, working? Like,
he
so
always
much. It's like,
okay.
is it ever an issue
the kids or him?
with your, with your
With him.
partner?
So when we first moved in together, we both worked the same hours.
Okay.
Both got up at 4 in the morning, and we both were home. Well, he was home a little bit later than me, so I would get him around 5:30. He would be home around like 7, sometimes 8. But now it's difficult because he works regular 7 to 3s, and I get home at 5, and then I might go back to work. Then I work on the weekends. So it's been an adjustment because we don't see each other often. Like during the week, I'm asleep when he gets home because he might do a 12 to 8 and not get home until 9. So what we do is on the weekends, those are our days. So Friday is his day to do what he wants to do. If he wants to relax, chill, go with his friends, that's Friday. Saturday is our day. So, well, no, Saturday is my day. Sunday is our day.
Okay.
And we, do stuff as a family. So it's just, you really pretty much got to work it out without, and that's okay for us.
But I guess speaking about different schedules, because Kai's all over the place with different business ventures, who knows when I'll ever see him. He just pops up home whenever he pops up home. Does working at 2 different shifts work for you and Tommy as far as the kids?
Right.
So I guess it works out for the kids because Thomas is able to stay home with Zakiyah while I'm at work. And then at one point in time, there was like a time lapse where he had to be to work at 2. So he still was keeping him throughout the day, and then he would drop him off with my grandma, and then he would be with my grandma maybe 2 hours, and then I was getting off. So it's always been like we both have always worked. We both have always had different schedules. Thomas' schedule has always, like my schedule stays the same all year round until the summertime. But his, it changes every 6 months. So he always keeps in mind that, okay, well, it's better for us if I'm able to stay at home with Zakiyah, and then to be able to take our kids to school and pick them up is always like a priority for us as well. Right now, I mean, it just so happens just to work out. Like we both are pretty much on the same schedule, so it works out.
That's good.
Yeah, that's how it is for me. When he's doing like his 11 to 7s or 12 to 8s, he has Amaris in the daytime, and he can take Amari to school. So I don't have to worry about taking her to daycare at 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
I know she can sleep late, so it even though it seems bad on paper, it actually works out.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's all that really matters if it works out for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So our next topic is comparing yourself. Have you ever compared yourself to another mom? I know social media, all the moms are perfect. Like people post what they want you to see. I've had people like say to me, like, you seem like you got your whole life figured out, but behind closed doors, like, I'm a total hot mess. But I mean, I make it work for me.
Right.
So how are you guys with comparing yourself to others or living up to others' expectations?
Well, can I say something? So apart from you, because you are a new mom, I pretty much compare myself to all of y'all.
Oh,
and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Zakiyah, oh my God, you may think that, but you always look so.
Ain't she
nice.
slave to the guy?
I'm always like, oh my God, like I get so excited when you post, and it's just like, how like you, even though you work your 2 jobs and you're always tired, you always look nice.
You look not a bad guy.
Yes, girl.
Child, you always see me at a
Yes, and then with you, Tia, like you're a single mom, and you got the boys in sports, Pixies in cheerleading. Like you do all that, and you do work. And I mean, I know this is my first time actually seeing you tired. Like seriously, like you always seem upbeat, and I'm just like,
oh
how?
My gosh.
I'm like, how? Why do I feel like this? But she seems like she's. Like, I always think, like, why am I feeling tired? Like, how come I can't be
I'm
like
always
that?
tired.
And
girl.
that's what she said.
I try to
You
be
see it on
chipper.
the- yeah.
I'll be like, oh my God, I don't want to be the beat today. Mama needs a nap, honey. Okay.
Yes, it's just, oh my God. So yeah, and then for you, the same thing. Oh, here she goes.
My nerves.
I'll drink to that.
Like, it's different because I do talk to you. You know, I know you in real life, so I know you don't have it all together. But you're always keeping the kids busy. You're always going, doing stuff with them, even your husband. So to me, sometimes I do feel like I'm a hot mess because I don't get to dress up. I don't take pictures often because I'm like, what am I taking a picture for? I got my Meek Mill braids on everything. at work. Like, at work, they don't even recognize me. Seriously, I've had friends from work on Instagram. They see me, they like my posts, they talk to me. When I go to work, they walk right past me. They don't know who I am. I'm like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, you don't remember me? I'm this girl from, they're like, oh my God, that's you? Like, it's...
I look like a person
Girl,
outside of
I'm
work.
telling you,
Going to work for me is like hectic. It's like, oh my God, I gotta get all these people together in the morning, get myself together, and it's like, I can't do this. This is what I'm wearing to work today. But when I get off, I'm gonna go off and get dressed.
It's a whole different
it's hard
person.
sometimes. I think I compare myself. My mom always compares my parenting to her parenting.
Oh, okay.
But she had a way bigger support system than I had.
Okay.
So, and I just be like, you want me to do what? You never even did that for me. Why do you expect me to do this? It's dumb. Like,
grandparents are always more lenient.
Yes, very. And it's like, you want me to do all of this spectacular stuff, like just fly through the sky and sprinkle fairy dust all over the world, and I don't remember you doing any of the half of the things that I do as a parent, and it's like, I can't live up to your expectations. I just have to do what I think was working for me and mine in my house. And if you want to offer support, that's wonderful, but I cannot ride unicorns through the sky. It's not happening today.
And then they forget, so a lot of our parenting skills comes from what we learned from our parents.
Right.
So if you treated me this way when I did this, and I'm doing it the same way you did it, why are you upset? Because I'm doing it the way you know? So it's always so weird. Like, they forget us, and they just, the grandkids are just angels. Like,
yes.
Girl.
Let them run through the alleyways and around the corner. Like, I would have got my head chopped
Yes.
off for running through the alley. It's clean. They can just go. Like, what?
Girl.
I don't think I ever compared myself to another mom. I have 6 godchildren, so I was always being somebody's godmom.
Right.
2 out of my 6 godchildren have active working parents now, so I've always been the financial provider for my godchildren. I try to make it my business to get them every weekend as much as possible. Thank God for having my own kid, because that is completely out now. I never compared myself to somebody else. I just sort of kind of try to take in advice from people around me, like Ashley, when she had her, she's like, it's so easy being a parent. I don't know why people say it's so hard. She's like shopping for her daughter every day, and I'm like, people be breaking down. Like, you at Target buying drawers and sneakers every day. I'm like, what are y'all doing over there? Like, I don't understand. I'm like, I know you pay rent. I've seen the landlord. I'm like, she always buying for her daughter. I'm like, other people always talking about like how it's so hard financially, our kids are so expensive. And she's like, no. And then I sat back one day and I was like, you don't have any extracurricular activities. Y'all just here living your life. And I'm like, So I don't think I've ever compared myself to anybody else. But just like Heather, it's always motivation to go on your page and see like this girl went from 1 kid to 5 in a very short time span, and her household is still moving. Nothing had stopped. Nobody stopped playing sports. Nobody had to trade in something so that the household would still remain. Like, it just kept.
I don't compare myself to anybody, like any celebrities or anything, but I feel like I get envious about like people that I know. Like, you guys have like the partners and everything to help you guys do everything, but I don't have that.
Right.
I'm by myself. I go to work at 5 in the morning. I leave at 8 to go bring my daughter to the bus. Get back there at 9. Finish at like 2 to go pick her up from the bus, and then go back to work. It's like I don't have the extra
support.
exactly
Right.
that I need. Like, thank God for my family,
Mm-hmm.
but I get envious. Like, I don't have that, you know, support system, that help from my partner.
And that's hard to deal with because you never sign up to have a kid by yourself.
Exactly.
So you should
Right.
be able to
Exactly.
take care of them by yourself.
I totally agree with that because I was like, I never wanted kids. So it was like, if I'm in a relationship, I'm like, listen, I don't want
From the
kids.
beginning.
Yeah, she got
In the
three
beginning.
of those kids.
Listen, I don't want no kids. If we have a kid, you are taking care of this kid. But then it doesn't work out that way. Like, are you sure you want it? Because I'm the one. Are you sure you want to have this baby? Like,
He's like, please.
And then they get all excited. Oh, we having a baby. And then when it's time, it's like, oh yeah, this is just my son.
Yeah.
This is just my daughter. Like,
So,
so
mom every day.
regardless, like we can't stop the clock and be like, I'm not a mom.
Right.
I'm doing it tomorrow.
Oh, no,
you
I
know
do
what?
that.
Tomorrow, I'm not a mom.
I do. Peace out, y'all.
But
See
you
y'all tomorrow.
got that other
I know,
person
I
there,
know.
you know, and it's like, I can't turn the mom light switch off.
Mhm.
Like, woo, Jesus, if we.
But then even going
when
on
you
that,
think you're
I
not
feel
being
bad.
around, you're still
when I
around.
do that.
Yeah.
Even when you send your kids away, you're constantly
Still.
calling and texting.
Making
You
sure
know, I wake up
Okay.
at 6 when my daughter's born. I'm like, I'm gonna sleep until 10.
I
Nope.
know.
Never happens.
I feel like I'm going out, I'm not getting them nothing.
Right.
Girl.
You come back with all this stuff.
Okay.
One
One for
thing.
yourself.
One thing for yourself. One.
That's funny. I watch like Yummy Mummies and stuff like that. And because of my blog, I get to see, like, I follow a whole lot of other moms who have blogs and follow children's pages and just like people who are in the area who have a lot of different kids. So I get to see like them post them. I follow this one page and she pretty much is a stay-at-home mom and she does stuff with her kid from like 8 a.m. to like 3 p.m. And I'm like,
Consistently?
every single day she's doing something with her kid. And in my mind, that's great, but I couldn't be that mom. Like, I feel like I have to be the mom that I want to be. I still need to be Keyera. I still need to be like
Right.
mommy. So I do stuff, again, you guys know I'm very, very active with my
Yes.
kids. But I still need to go to work.
Right.
Me being home on vacation for a week or 2 weeks, it's driving me up the wall.
Like,
So
what do you
I'm
do?
the person who has to work. I'm the person who like has to keep their kids busy. Now, and I will say the difference again between now that all of my babies live with me is like, okay, now I have to get them on the schedule and get them into sports and activities as well.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. As far as me like comparing myself, I don't think that I've ever did it and like, oh well, yeah, I should take this from her like that. But I have like judged other moms or like looked at moms and said, oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Or
yes,
oh no,
all the
that will
time.
not be me. That will not be my kid. Which leads us into, have you guys ever been judged because of your mommy skills, or have you guys ever judged someone else as a mom? So I'll be the first to say that I am, before I was a mom, and even when I just had TJ, even now, and mommy shaming is
It's a
not good, but it is a thing, and sometimes we do it and we don't even realize we're doing it. But I'm definitely that mom that's like, oh no, her kids are off the hook. She need to get those kids under check, or why is she listening to that kind of music in front of her kids, or why is her kid allowed to say that? And then you realize that people's households and people's lives are totally different from you. So that's something that I have to kind of like stop the mommy shaming, because mommies are humans too. But I definitely do think that me compare, like not even comparing, but judging people off of their mommy skills makes me know who like I want to be around or who I want my children around.
Right.
So I feel like, yes, it's a bad thing to like be like, oh no, she's a bad mom, but that's not the type of mom that I want to be around, or that's not the type of kids who like the environment that I want my kids to be around.
Right.
So
Go ahead.
For me, being judged, so you all know that Amari, when he was younger, Amari used to go with his dad for 6 months. And I used to get judged about that all the time, because we would do half a year. Because his dad lived in Florida, where I used to live in college. And then I moved back to Philadelphia. So there would be people like, no, I would never do that. I would never do that. And then I'm thinking to myself, so I guess I'm supposed to be a single mom all year long.
Right.
He doesn't come up here.
But it worked for you guys.
It did. And it was one of the best things I could have ever done, because in that 6 months I was able to do what I needed to do. I went to school. I might not have graduated, but I went to school. I went to school. I was able to be with my friends. Because I had him at 19 years old.
Right.
So I lost a lot of my
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom. So I was able to do certain things. Like a lot of stuff when I came back after he would leave, it was stuff I never did. And I was doing it with my friends. And I've known her since I was 15. So it was like, dang, she did all of this stuff and I'm just now doing this. It's like, wow, okay.
Right.
So I got a lot of flack for that from my friends, from my family, from my mom. And looking back, that's the best thing I could have ever done, to be honest. And it was hard because, like we talked before last time, when you let the father have that control over how they act. So when he would come back, not disrespectful, but he would be so different. And I would have to start that training all over again, and he'd go back again and do it again. But yeah, that was hard, hearing that and making that decision, and still hearing from me even after he's there and he's coming back perfectly fine and happy. So.
Well, I am the judgmental mom. Before having a kid, after having a kid, I feel like certain things about children are universal. It's just certain things that you should know as not even a mother, as a woman, that you don't do.
Right.
So I will shame a mother in a heartbeat, and I don't care if they shame me. But I just feel like certain things you don't do. Like I wouldn't say that I would shame you for sending your son away for 6 months. I don't know if I would be able to do it with my son, but of course I'm not in that situation. His father lives in this same city.
And see, that's different for you saying that.
Yeah.
I would take that, but like saying, oh, I don't know if I would do that. But people were like just telling me, oh no, you shouldn't do that. That's not right. You're not a mom. Yeah, you're a bad mom.
I would never tell somebody that they're a bad mom, because again, we do what works for us. So other people may feel like, oh, I would never do that with my kid, but you have to do what works for you and your kid and your household. But I feel like I am that mom. Like, she's a damn idiot. Like, you're a nutcase. Like, why would you do that? Like, I've seen like a close mom that I know, like, flew away to a different state, like, on the kid's birthday.
Oh my God.
Like, Jesus himself would have had to come down off the cross and tell me that it was my time to go, because I don't see me missing my kid's birthday. I don't understand, like, where your train of thought was when you thought that was okay as a parent.
As a parent.
So I will shame somebody in a heartbeat. Yes, I will.
Because people are not parents. I don't feel like some people are just not parents.
Yeah.
I have judged a mother because she was not a mother.
Okay.
One of our kids is on the team, is raised by his dad. His mom left him with his dad when he was a baby. So she's a deadbeat mom. Like, you do absolutely nothing for your son. I don't know what their home life situation was. He portrays to be a really good person. My kids go with him a lot or whatever, you know. But she's never been to nothing for this baby. And then, like, this summer she comes around because he's graduated. So kids know
Photo moms.
how to deal with people as they get older. And he was like, why are you here? I was like, yes, he's stood up for himself.
Kids are blatantly honest.
Like, I think she's like the only mom I've ever judged, because I've been that mom that was always judged, because like I was always compared to somebody else in the family, like all the time. And it's like, I'm not dumb. I can't be that person for you. So you can either accept my flaws, accept how I do things and handle things, and take it or leave it.
Right.
Because everybody's reality is different. You know, like we had that accident this week, and my daughter repeated something another student said, but she repeated something that was inappropriate, but that was the reality that student was living in his house. So that was his normal. Everybody's normal is different. So it's like, you can either take it or leave it.
Right, but again, when we say stuff like that, that's normal. I'm the judgmental mom. Because what did you say? Because that ain't normal. Your mom's an idiot. You shouldn't be
But can I ask a question? So would you consider that shaming in that situation? or would you just consider that like a realistic observation? Because if she's really not, even like parents that abuse their kids, like, is that considered shaming still, mom shaming? Or
see, I don't think so, because I think that like in that situation, like people are probably, again, I've had TJ's sister living with me and whatever the case may be, and people were saying like that's a mom giving up her daughter, like for what reason? But if same thing now, like again, my 2 bonus babies are now living with us, but if the situation is where a parent can do better for the children, then I think that's that needs to happen.
Yeah.
So whatever is best for the child. And
at the end of the day.
yeah.
At the end of the day, I think that needs to happen. At the end of the day, I think that we as moms think that we're over dads. So it's hard for us to see like, oh, well, dang, he a single dad or whatever. But single moms do it all the time. And
Right.
moms are not always like, moms don't always have the ideal situation. So if there is a time where a dad has to step up, I don't think that there's a reason to shame a mom for doing it. I do think that the other situation is, like you said, that mom isn't coming around. Where in my situation, my mom is calling every day.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my children's mom, she's calling every day. She wants to still be involved and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think, again, like we said, it goes with whatever situation that you're in and what's best for the child at the end of the day.
Go ahead, Keyera.
Okay, with me, I feel like I've definitely been judged, but I mean, shit, it's my child. I'll make her how I want to.
That's right.
And I definitely do some mom shaming because I talk about moms that look amazing and their kids look crazy. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. This week, Zanaya was sick. Thursday, she went back to school. I came to get her. She looked so crazy. I told her, what are you doing? But you know what? I brought her to school. Just so I'm not going to talk about nobody anymore, but I do it.
And it's funny because I've even the people that's close to you, like I know for me, the people that's close to me, I've seen them make decisions that I feel like shouldn't be rocket science. And it's just like, well, obviously you should have made this decision, and obviously, like for me, I'm a mom before anything. So my kids come before me, and that's all 5 of my kids. So for me, logically, if it's going to benefit my kids and I have to take an L, then that's just
what it is. Right.
But for me, like I've seen people like, and again, people that are close to me deal with situations, and I'm just like,
really?
And I think that because the way I was raised is different, the way that I want my kids to be raised is different. So it's sort of kind of like, yeah, I be mom shaming in my head, like, this girl really, like really, and I feel like for me as a mom, you can't tell other moms what to do with their children, how to do it, where to do it. And if people come to me for advice on anything, then I'll give it. But other than that, I keep my business to myself. Like, keep my opinion to myself. But I think that mom shaming is really, really a real thing. And I think that, of course, like you were saying, like, your mom has expectations for you as a mom. Same way I feel like my mom is still, like, very active in my life.
Right.
She's a very active grandparent. That's to all 5 of my children. Even to my puppy, like, that's just my mom. But by her being so active, she also has an opinion, you know? So she always has expectations, and you should do this. Like, the other day, she was texting me and saying, so Zaire has been having, like, real hard bowels. She's like, and make sure you give him some water. And she sends me, like, a long paragraph about what I need to do, but that's all the time. And I don't take it offensive. Sometimes I'm like, girl, I know. But I don't take it offense because I feel like when you have people who are active in your life and you allow them to play their role, I think like it just comes naturally. Like, I'm pretty sure I give you girls advice all the time, like, oh no, you need to like stop playing with my kids. Like, you know what I mean? And I think it's just like comes from a good place, but when it's negative, then people don't see it as you know, coming from a good place.
Right.
I feel like even though it comes from a good place, I get so mad.
Because
I've been
wording.
so and your tone.
Yes.
It's like I struggle. So like you telling me something that pisses me off. Like I've been
Don't
doing
send me
this.
something.
I'm fine. I got it. Okay.
I feel like you're screaming.
Is this a text cue? Who is she talking to? Okay. Bring it down, honey.
Like, like,
Okay.
Yeah.
all right, so what is the most difficult thing about co-parenting, and share your experiences about co-parenting? I'm gonna go first because I just need to, but my co-parenting was kind of short, but then I realized even with me being a married woman, I'm still co-parenting. So going from sharing, not having to share TJ at all, and then we went through this whole custody thing, and I had to give my baby up every other weekend. I hated it, and I felt like for me, this was a person who didn't really want to be around my child. This is a person who has told me, like, I see young boy when he's 18, or good luck like that, or
you did it despite me.
a person who doesn't want to be involved with my son because he can't be involved with me.
Right.
So for me, like, your intentions for my son are no good. So for me, we don't want nothing to do with you. Like, if that's legit how you feel, I'm never going to make my son be with anyone who is, I feel like, can harm him or who doesn't genuinely want to be a part of his life.
Facts.
So that was short-lived. That was maybe about 3 months. And it was like the worst 3 months of my life. But it was like, it was horrible. And I having a co-parent. So, okay, backstory. Tyrese dad wasn't in his life until after he was 1. So that's like pregnancy up until he's 1. He came back, he was here for maybe like 5 months, and we went through a whole lot. Since then, it's been Thomas. So Thomas is really the only dad that TJ knows.
Thomas is TJ's dad.
Yeah, and let's be clear.
Period.
Thomas is TJ's dad.
And he's very involved. And because Thomas is such an active and engaged dad with all of his kids, it's very, like, sometimes hard for me to be like, again, like I said last time, like, take that step back, and I realized that I do have to co-parent within my own house because I had to make sure that he is comfortable with the decisions that I'm making. Like Zakiah's haircut, he's been telling me no. I made the appointment today when everybody else was getting their haircuts, and when we was in the car, I'm like, Zakiah's getting his haircut. He's like, no. And then when we finally got there, he let him get his haircut. But that's like, what do you mean? Like, I have to ask this. But then the other flip side of co-parent is I have to deal with 2 other moms. So, again, I normally allow Thomas to make those decisions, but when the decisions affect my household or my schedule or my time or whatever the case may be, we make those decisions together. Yeah.
Away for the summer, I don't know what he's doing. He calls me on the phone, and I'm saying his dad. I don't know. So technically, I don't co-parent. I don't talk to his dad. I don't really care. So Amore will FaceTime me almost every day and just ask me random questions. And I know he's good. He has family down there. His grandparents, they take really, really good care of him.
That's
Love
wonderful.
him. So in that instance, I would say I don't co-parent, but I do have a parent in the house. So, like you said, it's a little difficult sometimes because you have to remember that you have to share your kid.
Oh,
but I'm the mother of the house, so I always make the final decision. Okay, mother.
Bam.
But that's it.
So with me, my story is a little bit similar to yours, but not. In the beginning, my daughter's 7. In the first 3 years, co-parenting was none. I hated him. He hated me because of the fact that we broke up. He wanted to do nothing with my daughter. So Dad was like, okay, I'll do it by myself.
Yes.
Exactly. So like that just made me mad because like don't take that away from my child. Don't do that because I don't want you. But I'm not gonna lie. The past 2 years, he's been doing very, very good.
Kudos.
Like you love that, right?
Blame it on the rise.
Always though,
Yes,
like
it's
that's like the
disturbing.
greatest gift. And when you know, like, this nigga really not nothing, like, and they like are so like, oh, that, and be like,
I got Zanaya a little shirt that said Mom Daughter Squad. She said she saw one that said Dad Daughter Squad. She was like, I want to get it. I'm like, no, you don't.
I think it's so difficult when, as a female, you have a great relationship with your father, and then your kids don't share that same
That was
relationship.
me. That was me. Yeah.
It's really
My stepdad is like everything in my life. Like, and my kids, they call him Dad. Like, that's their dad. I'm like, no, that's y'all pop.
My
dad, like, but I have nobody to co-parent with, and
You doing a good job, girl.
listen, I am that mom. If you hurt my kid,
That's
if you disrespect my kid, I'm gonna come get you, and I'm show up at your house. So if my kid don't like you, I definitely don't like you, and if I don't see you be fit as a parent, you do not have to be around my kid, and I'm okay with it. But every time I see you spending money and none of those checks is going to my kids, oh, I'm stopping your fun. Here she just shut down Funland. Oh, you about to go in the bar? No, homie, you going to your car, not tonight.
Nope.
And I'm going to draw.
Unless you're going.
It's funny that you say that because for me, I was like,
I'm gonna shut it down.
when TJ's dad, when he was around, pointed TJ's like custody agreement, it was very short lived, but I felt like I asked him one time to help with like school supplies, and when he told me that my husband could, like, you live in,
I remember that.
the exact words were, your son lives in a 2-parent household, you don't need my help. You never in your life have to ever worry about me asking you to do anything for my son. Because you are right. My son does live in a 2-parent household. But at the time, you were like seeing him at the time every other weekend and you wanted to be involved. But as soon as it was that, okay, come and do this, it was like, oh, well, no. Like, you, okay, you're right. Like, we do got this. Like,
real jealous of.
It just makes you realize how weak of a man you are that you would allow another man to be that father to your son.
Right.
And then you miss out on so much. Like, those are, I feel like those type of fathers are the fathers like, TJ's gonna grow up and be like president, and he's gonna be like,
that's how it always is.
We're doing this segment. We've all been taken to Instagram and asking questions. So we did have a person who responded to us.
And me and Bae's just growing.
MILFs.
The question was, what is the hardest part about co-parenting? And this person wanted to remain anonymous, but their answer was, I think the hardest part is explaining to the kids certain things about their parents' relationships.
Right.
They have it in their heads that we will reconcile. I think that introducing dating into the equation is equally as tough. Meeting the ex's new mate and incorporating the kids is a lot of pressure. Ultimately, if you're friends and honest with each other, then the transition should be easy. So, I think that for me, I can kind of relate. Before Thomas and I were married, again, we both have children from previous relationships, and although neither one of us were ever married, my bonus babies coming into it, they've seen their mom and their dad together.
Right.
So seeing their dad with someone else, or stuff like that, is kind of difficult for kids. And I think that us as adults, we move on and we like, okay, forget that relationship, I'm gonna keep doing me, but we don't always think about our children. For me, that was the first thing I was thinking about. Like, I'm not introducing my son into anyone who I don't think would be here for a long period of time. But then there's also that factor where, like, if you don't introduce them and it doesn't work out and that person's not good with your kid, then you've wasted your time.
Right.
So for the people who are dating, how long do you wait to introduce your kid to a potential partner?
So with me, I'm obviously not with my daughter's father, but she's never seen us together. Like, we've always lived separately. But I have introduced her to one person, and she like hated him. I heard her call him a monster, and like, no, but she was like serious and was like scared. So that was like, what was it? Okay, bye.
It.
That was it. So now I'm so sick because she gets so attached to people so fast. So I'm scared to introduce her to like my current boyfriend, and we've been together for years. And I'm like, girl, I'm scared. Like, it is what it is. Because after that first one, it's I
I've never
Not
heard
there.
that one before.
Yeah.
'Cause normally they'll say months. You say years.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow. Okay.
And I think it also depends on the relationship status.
Right.
If you're not sure
That's where I am.
how long you're going to be with that person, or if you're on and off with the person, then it makes it difficult to bring your child into a situation where you're not sure if it's going to be temporary or full
That's
time.
not
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it was with Frank. So when we got together, you know, we were dating on and off for over a year, but Amari never met any of my boyfriends, or not even boyfriends, whoever I was talking to. Never met
You
any.
never had any
Yeah,
before that,
never.
right?
No, I didn't want no man. I didn't want to get married and none of that. So if I knew that, I wasn't introducing my son to anybody, period at all. And he met Frank. We knew each other for over a year when we got together. And then I think we had been dating for like 3 months when I finally introduced him to Amari. And at this point, I knew, because I had been messing with him for over a year. Like this was going to be my man.
Right.
He knew that before.
Speaking.
That's right.
Right.
I told him this when we first met, like 3 months in. Like, you're gonna be my husband. He didn't believe me, but I was right. But
Right.
That's so exactly. Talk about
but
it.
I knew, and like I said before I met any guy, I never wanted to be in a relationship, no marriage, no nothing. So for me to know this is the one guy that I want to change, and it still made me wait over a year. And he was at my house plenty of times, and I was at his house, but I would always make sure that Amari wasn't around, because like you said, I don't want him to get attached, and then, you know, we're not together. So that worked out really, really well. And I just couldn't see, I couldn't see any of the guys before, ever. I wouldn't feel comfortable. And when I was younger, so my dad and my stepdad, my sister's dad, those are like my great fathers in my life. But my mom used to have boyfriends, and they were horrible. So growing up, knowing that, I never wanted my children to go through what I went through. So I always think about that. Yeah.
I don't know, me and my boyfriend are still together. We're parenting together. I guess it will be difficult on his part because he has 3 children. He has 3 kids with 3 other baby moms, so Lord knows how that'll work out when my son meets those siblings. One of his kids are grown, like almost as grown as I am, so that won't be an issue, but I don't know. I always felt like when I became a mom, like I don't want to be the mom that there's a new boyfriend every year.
Right.
Because I feel like you meet somebody, you date for 6 months, it don't work out, and you move on. But I never wanted to be like that mom. My mom, as
Uncle
long
Charlie.
as I've known her, when you finally get married, your husband, like, who's the hell Uncle Charlie? Uncle Charlie's a long story. But like even for me coming up, my mom has only had 2 boyfriends that I've ever known of, like as an actual boyfriend. My mom had a boyfriend until I was 8 that she got when I was probably like 5 or 6 years old, and then my stepdad, who she's been with since I was 9 and 29 now.
Right.
So like for me, I mean, me and my mom are to the point where we're really great friends. We can sit down and talk about things from her past. Like somebody tried to be my friend on Facebook the other day, and I asked boyfriend, I'm like, who the hell is he? Like, I don't know him. Such and such from such. Well, I don't know him. He's creepy. I don't want him to comment on my stuff. Oh, you had another boyfriend? I'm like we can talk about stuff now, but like growing up as a kid, it was like I only know these 2 people. Like anybody else outside of these 2 people, I don't have a clue who you are.
Right.
And I felt like that's a great ratio over a 30-year span. But I just never wanted to be that mom. Like when I have a kid, you'd met Tom, Dick, and Harry from around the corner, and you don't know what's going on and who's who.
Right.
And I feel like that's my fear, because I had one relationship that went so bad. And it's like, I don't want to introduce her to somebody, and we're up and down, and who knows if this one's going to be bad. Now it's somebody else you done met that's out the door.
Yes. Come on, Sasha.
Hey guys.
Hello.
So you can introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Ann.
Our next discussion is about miscarriages. It's something that a lot of women go through. A lot of women don't want to talk about it. A lot of women are forced to talk about it. And for me, I've had a miscarriage. And my miscarriage was really, really devastating for me. It happened while I was at work. and the father-to-be never showed up. My parents were there. My best friend was there.
Never had a miscarriage, but I know a lot of close people to me that have had miscarriages. And me personally, I don't know what it's like. I'm just like, I mean, the baby wasn't here, but watching my family members and friends, it's like it tears them apart completely.
Right.
And like changed my whole outlook on everything.
And people forget that, like, as a mom, like, you guys are moms, so as a mom, when you first find out that you're pregnant, that bond begins instantly. So I was 5 months when I had my miscarriage, so the bond happens immediately. And the fact for me, it was the fact that my baby could have survived. Like, if I would have delivered, my baby would have been able to survive. So for me, it was like a really, really big, big thing for me, and something that I went through emotionally. But yeah.
Well, I experienced a miscarriage, I guess twice, because I was with my best friend when she miscarried. This was even before I was pregnant. It was probably one of, anybody who knows me knows I've never lost for words ever. I always have something to say. That was probably like one of the times that I was like absolutely speechless. Like, what do you say to somebody in this time to like comfort them?
Right.
It was like, I don't really know what to say, so we'll just sit here
Just
staring
bring
at
it
each other
in.
like,
Right.
stare at each other, and eventually maybe something will come to mind. And it was
right.
like so devastating. And then when I got pregnant with my son, I found out really early I was 5 weeks pregnant. I was actually going to tell my parents that I was pregnant, and I started spotting. My stepdad took me to Einstein. I was there for like 6 hours for them to tell me that I had already miscarried. And they had gave me a bunch of ultrasounds and vaginal ultrasounds, and we didn't see any yolk. The gestational yolk had already passed, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And so we'll give you some medicine to help with the pain. And I was like, well, if it's passing, I'm fine. We'll just let it be. And I go back 2 weeks later, which would have been 9 weeks, to make sure that everything passed through. And the lady's like, oh, you want to hear your baby's heartbeat? And I'm like, what the hell is going on around here?
Right.
I'm here because I had a miscarriage. You must be looking at the wrong thing. And she's like, no, it's a heartbeat. And I'm like, what's going on? And the lady's like, well, they didn't explain it to you the right way down in the yard that you were pregnant with twins and one passed. And I was like so sad, and it was like so heartbreaking. Like, I'm only 9 weeks pregnant. How the hell could you be attached to something that's not even a dot yet? And I'm like, what? And I was so heartbroken. Like, my son would have been a twin. Who knows if it would have been a girl? So it was sad for a while.
Sure.
Do you ever feel like it kind of helped because you thought you had lost the baby, but then you found out that that baby was still alive?
Afterwards, it was sort of kind of like, is this my rainbow baby? Like, is this my happily ever after? But at first, it was like, I was like sad. I had like went to the bar, went to the after. I was like at 151, like till closed.
Right.
Drinks galore, like just living my life. I was so sad. So when I went back and a lady told me that he was fine, I was like, man, you know how many drinks I had?
Right.
I was like, something like that. And she was like, that's not how it works. Like, but I was like, no, miss, I've been drinking like for hours.
I've been drinking.
She's like, no, he'll be fine. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was saying, like, oh, but I had 2 kids instead of 1. Then I went through the phase of, well, he's happy, maybe it just wasn't meant for me to have twins. And I was like, Lord knows I couldn't do 2 kids.
I know. Right.
Maybe, this was the Lord telling me 2 at once is not, not for you right now. It was sad that my baby father went through a phase of being sad for that whole 2 weeks because we thought that there was no kid, period. And then when she's another kid, what is going on? And then after that, it's scary. I was afraid to tell people because I was like, I don't know if he'll make it. So it was like touch and go for a while, and it scared me half to death because I was like, I want a son. I always knew I wanted a son. And she knew what I was having at 12 weeks. She was the only person that knew, and I was like, God, please don't tell me the son went and the daughter's still here.
Oh, Lord.
God forgive me, but I was like, please don't let the son go and the daughter is still here because I don't know what to do.
Are you crazy?
Child.
It's funny because, you don't understand someone's situation until you actually go through it. And when you have people who can kind of like relate to you, especially when you're close to them, it kind of makes things better. Again, after my miscarriage, I really, really knew that I'm supposed to be a mom right now. I want a baby.
Right.
I want a baby.
So my experience is a little different than yours. Y'all got a attachment to your babies. I was really, really young when I found out I was pregnant. And when I found out I was pregnant, it was over. It was done. I lost it. I was actually, I'm going to tell the age that I was. I shouldn't have been doing anything at that age. But I was really, really young. Like, I was in my teens, my early teens. And how I found out, I was actually fighting. And I got pushed into the corner of a table. And the next thing you know, I was just going through all these pains, and I went to the bathroom, and it was just everything. It was horrible. It was different. And once I found out that I did miscarry and I had a baby, since then I always wanted a baby. But I always had the fear that I'm not able to have a kid. And
Don't cry, please. These lashes won't fall right on, please.
because it's really a thing. Like, I really feel like I've been in situations where I'm like, damn, bitch, you're not pregnant, like stuff like that. Even though, thank God, I'm not. But I really feel like I can't, and it was bad. And I really don't share that with nobody. I don't like crying about it. I don't like thinking about it. Everybody around me has kids,
Right.
and because of what I went through, it's like, oh my God, I just want one.
Yeah.
I just want.
So I was dealing with my ex-boyfriend. We were sleeping together, unprotected. I got pregnant. I didn't think that I was able to have kids because I had dealt with this man for so long and never used protection. I ended up aborting my baby because me and him were in a very bad space. But when you focus on it so much, I promise you, it makes it hard to have kids. When you keep
It's the
thinking
stress.
about it and thinking about it, you stressing your body out to the point that you can't do it.
Right.
The minute that you're not thinking about it, you'll be pregnant.
But also, not even that. It's not even always you. Most of the times it's men.
And until it affected someone close to me. So if you ladies care to share and go into details about how you dealt with it when you figured out what it actually was, or your experience about it in general.
Well, with my first son, with my sons, period, I felt stressed out after I had them. And maybe it was depression because I wasn't getting the support I thought I was supposed to have with them. The people that were supporting me were not their fathers. So it was like, y'all wanted these babies, y'all asked for these kids, and they come up with every excuse to not parent these boys, and it killed me. And it was like, oh, my grandma was there, their grandparents was there, my mom was there, but they're only there from a distance, and I just didn't want to put kids on people, and it wasn't their children. Like, I didn't want it to be a burden on them, and it used to stress me out. Like, who is going to watch these kids? Like, I'm going to be a parent. You are supposed to be responsible for being a parent as well. And it was like, dang, I'm going to have these kids by myself, and I didn't want to be my kids to not know what it was like to have a father. And of course, you know, Koi's father was murdered, so he didn't even get the chance to be a father to his son. So.
And he probably would have been the most amazing
Yes.
father.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah.
Well, I have a thing. So mine is different because, like I said before, when I first had my kids, that first year was amazing with both of them. It was easy. One, everything just changed. Like the way I felt all the time. I didn't want to be bothered by them. Like, I never felt where I know with certain people, you not even want to harm their kids. Or I never felt that. I just didn't want to be bothered with them. I was always tired. I didn't want to do anything to my hand. Because I didn't know what it was. I thought I was just depressed. But when I Googled it, it is a thing. Some people can get it up to their children being 3 years old.
Right.
Because of how much time you spend with just that kid. So it surprised me. And it happened with both of them. So I don't know if that's just something that I go through, or I don't know. I have no idea. But it was really, really difficult because it's like nothing you do makes you feel better.
Yeah.
No matter how many times you go out, no matter how many times you see your friends and they tell you you're beautiful, your boyfriend, significant other tell you you're beautiful, it doesn't
I
matter.
don't believe nothing.
No, you just feel sad. And the thing for me, so one day, this was recently, I just felt really, really bad. Like, this was like maybe a year ago. and I felt so bad. I was crying every single day, and I didn't want to. Me and my boyfriend, we weren't doing anything. We weren't having sex. We weren't doing nothing. I didn't really do anything with my kids. Like, I did what I had to do. Feed them, get them dressed, take them, do whatever. I did what I was supposed to do, but I would just want to sleep all day and cry. So one day I called this lady. My mom works at Einstein, so she gave me a number for an on-call therapist. And she talked, yeah, I can see. And I swear to God, this lady talked to me, and she talked to me for about 30 minutes. And I cried, and literally, I swear, once I stopped crying, I felt so much better.
Oh.
And basically what she told me is, you don't have a life. Your life is all about your kids, and you don't feel like you're worth anything.
Right.
You need to, like I said before, I have my day where it's just my day, and I need that day, because if I don't have it, my mental, when it comes to my children, is really, really fragile. I'm not like other people. I'm not that strong. So... I'm strong, girl.
I know.
I'm just telling me, you know, I need to be.
Yes,
girl, we
fighting.
I'm pulling up, okay?
But yeah, so just doing that, having that day, and just finding time to, even if your kids are driving you crazy, just see what they bring good to your life.
Right.
And I love my kids. Sometimes they are horrible. They argue all the time, but they, you know, they make my life better. So just some people need medication. Some people just, you know, like me, I just need the day for myself, an hour, whatever. But it's real, and it's hard. It is hard to get it out of your head. But yeah,
I feel like I need to take that advice from you that you just said that day, because I feel like I was just telling you last week, like I feel like I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Like I do everything for myself, for my daughter. I feel like it's like a facade, to be honest, because like I'm so exhausted. I feel like I had postpartum when my daughter was born, but I low key be feeling like I have it now. I'm like, Zanaya, you got 5 seconds
To get it together.
to back one up.
Yeah.
Head out the room. Give mom 10 minutes. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I feel like emotions are sickening, so I need that number. Immediately.
I don't think I experienced postpartum. Lord knows I hope that I don't, because he's enough within himself. But I talked about it on the last segment. I was I don't know. He just like wore me out one day. I was like really tired. I didn't get no sleep, and I was like in the bathroom. I don't know if I was like fixing my hair or whatever it was. And I like had a mental breakdown. I just bust out crying.
Out of
nowhere.
nowhere.
Like, Jesus.
Right.
I was like, what's going on? I postpartum. I called my mom. I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I was freaking out. She started to relax, and I was like, Mom, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I was like, I'm so sleepy. And I had like set him in his swing, and he was like going off. Yeah. And then I come back, and he like sleep snoring. I was like, I should push him out this damn swing. Like, what's going on? He was just like living his best life, feet crossed, and I was so tired. I was like, God, is this a test? Like, I don't understand. I'm literally breaking down. My eyeballs is on fire, and he just snoring.
Chilling
like
hardcore.
Nothing bothers him.
Yes.
So I don't know if it was like a part of postpartum, but I don't know. After you said you had it with both of your kids, hopefully it's not like preeclampsia, because I had it, and they said every time I get pregnant, I always have it.
Getting ready to wrap up, but before we wrap up, ladies for joining us at the table, and we have our special guest, Miss Ann, for joining us. You guys are watching Momersations and Momosas.
Thanks, guys.